Poetic. Welcome to Latinos Unfiltered podcast, where we kick back, sip a cafecito, and dive into the heart of it all.
From the rhythm of our favorite Latino beats to the real talk about what's shaking our community, we're here to keep it sin filtros. No hold it back, mi gente.
So whether you're chilling at home, stuck in traffic, or just miserable in life in general, join our familia. Let's laugh, learn, and maybe even spill a little cheese along the way because life's too short to not have a good time, y'all.
Facts. So grab your headphones, turn off the volume, and let's get unfiltered. Bienvenidos to the vibrant world of Latinos Unfiltered.
Bienvenido, bienvenido. So, how's your day today?
Crazy day today, man. It's cold, hot.
Yeah,
Miami is like a crazy female. He changes
bro.
his ways all over. It's 50 degrees at 4 o'clock in the morning when I have to get up. At 9 o'clock is 65. At noon is 85. At 3 p.m. is 95. And then when it's 7 o'clock again, he drops back to like 45. Like, what? Talk about bipolar. That's crazy.
So yeah, it's cold over here on some real stuff. It's cold. It's like been 40s, 50s degrees, give or take. It's been kind of just like it's been all over the place. But yeah, it's I can't wait for the summer. I'm actually excited for the summer because hopefully great things by the summer. But also I just want the heat. I'm not meant to be in this cold, bro. I'm really not meant to be in this cold. So let's go start off with we're gonna do an introduction to you guys, real names, and then where we met and how we met, and then where we ended up from then till now. So go ahead and start first. What's your name besides Mr. M2J? You don't have to give
Well, Mr.
lashes first.
M2J, yeah, Mr. M2J is just abbreviation of my whole name. So it's Martin. So for those who want to know, it's Martin. Martin. No relation.
Martin.
But I'm originally from Panama, born and raised. Say I came here to the United States when I was 18. After a little while, I joined this place called Job Corps, a federal studying program where you learn some different type of trades and stuff like that, like carpentry and a bunch of other stuff. So I joined
The
the war.
government trade school, basically.
Yeah. So I was in Kentucky. After I finished my trade over there, I went to advanced training where I met Poetic in Massachusetts. For those who don't know, Mass, um, and there we met, bro, and we've been friends ever since. We just clicked it. It was just crazy. We just clicked
Yeah.
it.
That was back in 2007. That was a crazy time in trade school. My name's Enrique, or Enrique for those who want to pronounce it properly. Roll the R. Roll the R. It's not hard.
Roll your R's. Roll your R's.
But
Let's go.
yeah. So not Henrique, not Henrique. It's Enrique. Enrique. Simple. But anyways,
Enrique.
or Enrique.
Role.
Yeah.
Role.
But yeah, Enrique for in English. But yeah, we met in Job Corps. It was 2007 when we met. I went there for culinary. I was like, I need to do something. And college is not for everyone. College really isn't for everyone. The one thing I regret in life, I wanted to have that like college experience of like frats, party and stuff. But I'm not the kind of person to sit and study and do stuff like that. It has to, if I'm not interested in something like that, even if it's like a trade, I was like, I really want to learn. It's just not something I did. So I couldn't afford real culinary school. So I went to trade school there, and that's where I met Martin, and we met with a bunch of our people, and we got super close, and it's been like that since. It's been 16 years now. My God,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, but
Close to 2 decades. That's crazy. Close to 2 decades of
God,
it. But what's the crazy part is that even though life just got in the way, and life is life, and we did our own things, we always kept in contact. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a small group of us that still connected, and we became a family. Like not bloodbound, but we made it, bro. And I mean that's
facts.
the most fascinating thing ever, bro. Because after that, it's just being like a tightly knit group that like we got each other's back and stuff like that. You probably meet some of them eventually during the podcast. Um,
Definitely.
I want y'all to know our family since you guys are willing to become our family now that you are tuning into the Latinos Unfiltered.
Facts. We're here to bring you our point of view from Latinos. Try to help us get up there. I'm from Puerto Rico. He's from Panama. Hopefully in the future we'll have another person with us, and most likely we will. But yeah, we're all here just trying to do a Latino podcast from the point of, from our point of view on our opinion. We just like, let's just do it. Why not? But yeah, Job Corps was a fun time though. We had a lot of good times there. It was a crazy time. I know once I finished it, I was there for the whole year there, and I left, and Job Corps afforded me the opportunity to go to Hawaii on a cruise ship to work culinary there, and I worked for Norwegian Cruise Line, and that was really fun. I had some. It's like Vegas, but on a cruise ship, and 10 times worse. Like I was a whore. I was a
Crazy.
whore.
He can
But
never
yeah, it was
keep his
fun times.
pants
I
on.
did that, and then I moved on in life and did stuff, and here I am.
Mr. Poetic could never get his pants on, bro. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it
I
was.
was
It
I was
was.
surprised when he actually got married. I was surprised. I'm like, you got married?
Yeah, that was.
No.
Yeah, I was a whore, y'all. Y'all don't understand. I was a whore. I was bad. I was real bad. But sometimes it's hard to, when you're so fine, it's so hard. You feel me?
This guy right here.
It's just difficult to not, go places and do things. But
You
yeah,
think he's the last
no. So,
Platinum on the mapa?
but yeah, so now we're here. It's 2024. We went through the pandemic. That was crazy. That was
Definitely.
hell. That was hell. But
I was
yeah,
going through a
Job Corps
rough
taught me a
time.
lot. Yeah, Job Corps taught me a lot. It was good. The good thing about Job Corps is that it led to friendships and family, and it was really good. But yeah, it's been nuts. It's been a crazy time. Getting to where we're at now.
Crazy roller
Staying
coaster for
connected.
real.
It's been far and few in between people you can trust in life, and this is my deal. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's do a podcast. I was like, yeah, let's get this because where I see it, why not try? Never turn down a dream that you never know is going to turn out. Because if you don't do it, then you'll never know how you could have gotten to there. And here we are,
Yep. You know
fat,
what I'm saying?
happy, and
Like
ready to podcast.
it's just so crazy because I mean I know you personally you are always like a dream chaser. You know what I'm saying? You always gone
Facts,
and go like, oh, I
facts.
want to go to the cruise. Going to the cruise. He tried to start a business. He always throwing out there. I mean, he called me plenty times. Like, yo, I'm trying to start this Airbnb thing down in Florida. Can you help me out? And I'm like, my guy, right now I'm so wrapped up in life. And like I honestly I don't want to disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? Like even though, it's life and we all disappoint each other at one point in time, but it's like, yo, I don't really want to disappoint you on purpose. So I'm like, I'm not gonna take you up on that. But then he came up with the idea for the podcast. And I was stuck in a situation that I was like, you know something? I gotta stop saying no to opportunities because this might be it. So I took him on that challenge and I'm like, let's
Well,
go.
before you continue, this. So what y'all heard right now, he said this might be it. It's not. This will be it. This will
Oh,
be it. Not
my
might.
bad.
This will be it.
My
We
bad.
gonna get there,
My
y'all.
bad.
For
My
the people
bad.
who come here, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be hella work, but we're ready for it.
Yeah. We're here to stay. We're here to stay. We're here to grow. We're here to entertain you. We're here to just, let you in our lives be part of our family, and it's gonna be a crazy roller coaster. So I hope you buckle up tight because it's gonna get bumpy.
Facts. So let's go ahead and tell me what's on your mind right now.
What's on my mind right now? Retiring. Retiring.
Facts. I
I
just
want
want
to
to
be
travel. I
sipping
think
some.
that's been my biggest thing.
Listen, I want to be sipping some mojitos at a beach and not worry about a damn care in life, bro. Like, I don't want to worry about nothing. I struggle enough already as it is to sit down here and just keep on struggling until I'm a senior citizen. I want to retire while I can.
I feel you on that one. Let me. Where's the? I was trying to get something, but So okay, so what have you been doing from Job Corps till now? What have you been doing, and what changed your mind to start pursuing things?
Well, I'm always being a person that is super family oriented. Um, so starting a family was not really an issue. But not gonna lie, I kind of like settled down, and got complacent with life and about a lot of things. I worked in property management for like almost 12 years, if it's not a mistake. Then after that, I I work like all the little jobs here and there, whatever. And then after that, I decided to become a school bus driver. So currently, I'm a school bus driver, trying to make it
Nice.
out of there. And I mean, it's a crazy job, dealing with a bunch of other people's kids and being safe on the streets and all this other stuff. It's challenging on its own. Um, but I
My
enjoy
bad,
it.
y'all. It's my door
I
open.
like driving. I like WD
Family.
40.
Yeah, we're in that soon. As y'all know, that's
W
that's the door in my
WD
room, and that thing
40.
is.
Sponsor this man,
It,
WD 40. Sponsor this
it's
man.
nice though because if somebody tries to come in and kill me, I'll hear it.
But I mean, he's just being super crazy, doing that. I love it. I love driving. So it's like, hey, I don't have to deal with too much paperwork and all this sort of stuff. Like everything else, yeah, has a challenge. So now I'm trying to do this podcast. Well, not trying to. As you can see, we are
We're
here
doing it.
doing
We're
it.
doing it.
So we're doing this podcast now, hoping for the best, and for you guys to actually accept us into your screens, and just give
Yeah.
us a chance, so we can show you what we got now.
Our future plan is to eventually get to the point where we're doing really well and then meet up and actually have it, like a regular podcast. I know a lot
Like
of
in
people started their
person.
podcast during the pandemic and they did it over computer, and that's how they started. We're doing this for now. There's no pandemic so far, but we're definitely trying to, until we can get that, because we're all in different states. So
Yeah.
once we're able to, do it, then we're going to eventually move probably to the same state, do it from there, and actually do the podcast in person, which is gonna be crazy because we're goofy here, but when we're in person, it's just nuts. It's nuts. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Out of control.
But yeah,
You
so
talk about unfiltered. Oh yeah, it's gonna get unfiltered.
it's gonna go crazy. Okay, so let's do a little fun, crazy stuff because I'm curious about life in general, and I want to
I'm
know.
not taking my clothes off.
We good, man. We gotta say that for the OnlyFans. We gotta say that for the OnlyFans. Let's see here. So I have a few questions. I'm on my cell phone, y'all. So we're gonna be checking some things out. So let's see. Okay, here's a good question actually, because I know a lot of us, especially us 80s and 90s
Wait,
babies, know this.
hold on a
So
second. Hold on a second. I already gave a whole explanation about my life, bro. Explain to these people who the heck you is. Don't try to skip on that. They want to know
what you
too.
mean? What you mean? Okay, so
He trying to be slick about it.
so I'm Enrique, as you guys know, aka Poetic. Poetic, I got the name because I write a lot, but also I got it because that was my screen name on Xbox is Poetic Assassin. So that's I got that, and then I'm very smooth with the words. So that's one reason. That's another reason people call me Poetic. Everyone I go by Poetic. Only family really calls me Enrique, but yeah, and not even jobs do. Like I tell them, if you want to talk to me, it's Rodriguez. You don't deserve to call my name Enrique. You got to earn that title. I'm cocky with that. I don't play around. But yeah, basically, and I started my own channel with a friend of mine back in 2021, right at the start of 2021, almost into 22. At the start of the pandemic, we started a food channel. It's called The Wandering Food Dude. Make sure you go follow. I'll definitely put the link somewhere. I'll put it below in the description. But I started a thing. We wanted to, we went out to eat a lot, and we liked, drinking and eating. We hung out all the time, especially during the pandemic. It was hard to, do things. So we decided to go out and start doing food reviews. So we wanted to have mom and pop restaurants. So we took money that we had, and we put it towards that, opening up a mini company called the Wandering Food Dudes LLC. We went around to mom and pop restaurants, did reviews and stuff. We've since parted ways, but in good terms. We've parted ways. He realized he wanted to do something else, and I really love doing this. So I'm continuing it. So make sure you guys follow me, because by helping me, you're helping mom and pop restaurants. I'm at a standstill for the current moment. I'm still trying to get content and stuff out on TikTok and whatnot, but I'm trying to get more money right now. I got to wait for some investments to come through. But yeah, I started that, and then I was like, you know what? Last year, about a year and some change ago, I was like, I really want to do a podcast. It seems pretty chill. That's because I saw. I will give a shout out. We're not gonna pay for this or anything, but I love them. Shits and Gigs. I was like, I heard their story of how they started and stuff. I was like, man, I really want to do that. Like, I want to get there. So that's when I reached out to M2J over here, and I was like, "Yo, let's do this." And he's like, "Well, let's see." And then we waited a little bit, but I wanted to do research also. So, because it's doing stuff you can learn on the fly, but it's kind of good to do research ahead of time and stuff that I actually enjoy with my ADHD and my OCD. I can actually do as opposed to like college. I'm just not a college person. So I did the research, and now here we are. We're starting this. We started talking about it in November, and now we're of 2023. And now we worked some kinks, did some some things, figured some stuff out, and here we are. So that's I live in Seattle, so I'm here. I used to live in the East Coast. I'm moving back hopefully in 2 years. I will be back, not hopefully. I'll be moving back in 2 years to the East Coast, and that's when we'll all be together. Me, Martin, and the fam. We'll be doing all our stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've always been, like you said, I've always been someone who like I don't like working for companies. I'm not a person who likes working for people. I've never like I can do it, but I'm like when I'm at a job, I'm the asshole there. Like if a job says, "Oh, you need to do this," it's like, no, my law. I know the law for like employment, so I'm very like I'm the asshole. That's like, no, I'm allowed to do this. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Like I stick up for people, and they, if they don't like it, that's on them. I know my law, and you're not going to get me like that. So I'm a very
Yeah.
blunt person, as you guys will find very soon. I'm very blunt. Like I don't care. My opinion's my opinion. If you don't like it, dip. Peace. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
that's who I am. I've always been like that. So I'm kind of person. I'm a go getter. My family always taught me be a hard worker, do as much as you can. And I know me and my my dudes. We're not living the best life we want to. And I'm like, you know what? This is an opportunity. It's just going to be filming and talking about whatever we want to talk about. And if these other guys like Shits and Gigs can, they were working 40, 50 hours a week, not making the greatest of money. And they still did, even them in the basement yard, they were doing so many hours on top of that and having families. If they can do it, we can do it. And there's not really, to my knowledge, a lot of representation in the Latino community, especially with Puerto Rico. With Puerto Rico, everything's going through for hundreds of years now. So I was like, I'm gonna get my dudes together and see what we can do. So here we are. I'm like he said, I'm a dream chaser. I love to. If I have a dream, I go after it and I don't stop until it's completed. So to a point. In the past, when I was younger, I was a little bit of an idiot, but now I'm got to the point where I know where I want to do in life. I'm not trying to work the rest of my life and be miserable. I'm trying to travel, especially life is too short, way too short. So I'm trying to bust my ass now, get what I need to get to the point, and then start traveling with my dudes, start going around the world and do podcasting and just let people know how we think. That's pretty much me in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, bring a fresh Latino view to everything that's going on. For the Latino lens, a lot of the podcasts with Latinos are is just in Spanish. We try to do that English, so you all of English speaking can understand where we're
Yeah,
coming from. I'm saying.
facts. So we representing, and not only that, but I know for a fact like we're definitely funny dudes. When we're together, we're funny as hell. We have crazy thoughts and process on things. You may agree, you may disagree. The good thing about true friendship is that whether especially with, Martin and our other brother Gio, is even if we disagree on a lot of stuff, we can be stupid mad at each other. And actually this will be the topic for now is loyalty and true friendship. When you have people who you actually trust and care about, give a fuck about, it's one of those things where like you can be stupid mad at each other, but it's one of those where you realize, okay, these are our opinions. We leave those opinions behind and we move on with the friendship. We might disagree, for example, I don't know. We agree pretty much on everything, but let's say we were to disagree on like politics wise. That's something, okay, we can talk about it, but you can be like, oh, I know people who are like, oh, I can't talk to so and so anymore, even family members. I'm not gonna be friends, or I'm done talking to them because they don't agree with what I agree on. That's stupid. Everyone has an opinion. Not everyone in the world is going to agree with what you think. So if you let go of people who care about you over stupid opinions, you're just ignorant yourself. Like
Yeah.
you should a true friendship. You can disagree and continue being friends, unless it's going to
Exactly. I
affect
mean,
you
because
financially.
you bring in something from a different perspective. Everybody has a different outlook on everything that
Exactly.
happens in life.
Exactly.
So it makes no sense for you to end up a whole friendship over something as trivial as that. Difference of opinions over a subject. I mean, if it's not something that is like core, damaging the structure of your friendship, then you should be good to go. I mean, you can disagree on a lot of different things. You can get mad at each other. Most of the time, when we try to get mad at each other, not trying, but when we get mad at each other, it's with good intent, because we always try to see the best
Exactly.
on one another. So if I see you messing up, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to be pretty about it. I'm just going to let you know you fucking up. So
Facts.
fix it. You need to fix it. And I'm not gonna sit here and just sugarcoat shit for you and be like, oh yeah, but you know something. No, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, like, yo, you fucking up. Like, you need to get that shit on like, get back
Yep. And
on,
that's
on
how we've
track.
kept each other like that's how we've kept each other on track because we tell people like I've actually told people like even at jobs I'm like look I'm gonna be honest with you I actually went to an interview once and the guy was like perplexed at the one job I used to work at. He's like, so what's your biggest trait? I'm like, I'm honest. He's like, okay, but that's kind of a basic thing. I'm like, no, I'm honest. Like, I'm blunt. I'm like, I will tell you how it is. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I'm like, you're gonna find out. He's like, well, a lot of people say that. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, man, I'm from the East Coast. Not only am I Puerto Rican, but I'm from Boston. You feel me? Like, I'm blunt as can be. I'm more blunt than the average person, especially because of my certain personality things that I have, like my OCD, my ADHD, and then something else, which y'all will find out in the future. But with my
Mm,
personality, I'm the kind of person that I don't care about people to that point. Like you have to earn your respect with me. Like if I'm loyal and I earn my respect with you, I expect the same back. You feel me? And that's what I get with my two brothers here. Is like we're blunt. Like it could be the worst thing in the world, but we're like, yo, this is the deal. You don't like it, get over it. You need to, so we keep each other straight. And that's why I was like, you know what, I want to do a podcast because
yeah,
like I know we're if I'm gonna rise, I need my dudes to rise with me. That's just how it's gonna be. Like if
exactly.
you
We
have
always gotta
people who
look for
want
each other.
to, gotta
That's where we come from. That's the bottom line. We
facts,
always look for each other. We're, what I'm
especially
saying,
being like we
we
got
take you off the mud. If you're in the mud, we help you take you out the mud. We're not gonna walk on your shoes, but we make sure that we push your back so you can keep on walking, bro. You ain't going to let you walk alone. That's
facts,
how tight it is.
facts.
Our circle is so small, bro. It looks like a butthole clench. That's how tight it is.
Is it a clean bowl?
Hey,
So
clean,
you got
dirty, it
two
don't matter.
dark
We go
circles,
through everything. We go
and then
through
you got the white.
everything. We go through everything. When it's
Everything,
clean,
y'all.
when it's dirty, when everything, bro. It's a clench, tight
Facts,
butthole. That's
facts.
how tight it is.
We make sure everything comes out, but nothing goes in. You feel me?
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's see. We're gonna go ahead and okay. So here's the first thing. How were birthdays, holidays, and special occasions celebrated in the 80s and 90s, and how do these celebrations compare to contemporary festivities and traditions?
Back then, it was lit. What you guys call lit now ain't got nothing. And I mean nothing on parties back then.
Yeah.
Now, what I see now is everybody on their phones trying to record what drama is happening and what fights it is. Back then, we actually care about partying and having fun and sharing with the family and sharing with your cousins and friends and this. It was just good fun all around. From the
Oh yeah.
adults to the little kids,
Oh yeah.
it was just crazy. It was just so fun. I remember all those parties growing up. It was
Well, I
just
remember like
fun.
well, it was one of those like people back in the day. I know every generation says this to a point, but like if you actually look into it, like factually look into it, the 80s and 90s generation was the best. And the only reason, and I'm not saying because everyone's going to say that no, we're the best generation. It literally was the best generation for this one reason. The 80s and 90s kids were we had the outdoor experience where we knew how to work hard. We were talking, you need to work hard, do your best. You're not gonna get anywhere in life if you don't push it, and you got to work as hard as you can. But we were also the kids that our parents, said, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, go outside, make sure you come back. You don't come back until that light, that light post comes on. Once it comes on, you better be in this house. And if
Yeah,
mom says you better clean, you clean. But like we went out all day and played, all day. So we knew how to go out and have fun and experience stuff without technology. But
yeah,
because we were 80s, we also that's when technology actually literally bloomed and became something, when cell phones became something. And so we got to learn how to go outside and do everything and actually work hard and do things and have tough skin, as well as learning technology when it first came out. So you'll never that's why it throws me off when there's some 80s kids who are like born when we were born 80s and 90s who don't really use technology like that or social media, because it's like we were literally I have a friend who's 32, 33, and he barely knows how to use a computer, and he knows how to use it and he can pick it up quicker than normal because we were born in that time. But like before he didn't really care about it. It's like, bro, we grew up in the time where everyone learned it, you know what I'm saying? So like it was easy. So like we grew up in the best time where we were there for the major things of technology and going out. So we
yeah.
have that where people nowadays, if you were born out in like the 2000s, if you're born in the 2000s, you only know technology, and most of these kids nowadays don't even know what it is to like not be on the phone 24/7. Like, yeah, I'm on the phone all the time.
Yeah,
We do social
yeah,
media.
yeah,
I do,
yeah. Kids,
but I know how
kids
to go out and be like,
nowadays they
I'm
are
gonna go
born
hiking and
with
do
a
this,
tablet on their face. Kids nowadays are born with a
bro.
phone or a tablet on the face. It is crazy. Like you tell them to go
Bro, my
outside,
dude
it
back in the
is a
day,
fight to take him outside. Like, oh, you want to? No, I just want to be in front of my phone, sitting on my
bro,
AC. No, take no.
bro,
What?
bro. Facts. I had a dude back in the day when I used to work at Wegmans. It's a supermarket, and I used to work as a chef there because they had an actual like cook department, a prep department. And my dude, he was from, I could be wrong. I think he was from Haiti. I can't remember, but he had a at the time he had a 3 4 year old daughter, and he bought his daughter a tablet, an iPad.
Hmm.
And tell me why he's like, bro, he's like, we were talking about financial stuff and coming here, and how kids are different nowadays. And this is back, mind you, this is in the 2000s, probably like 13 years ago, like 2000, whatever that was. And he was like, yeah, he's like, bro, he's like, my wife tries to spoil our daughter a lot. She's like, I want to get this and this and her. So he got his daughter a tablet. So mind you, she's 3 4 years old at the time. And she got it for Christmas. And he told me all the stuff he was getting. He's like, bro, he's like, I refuse to let my daughter be brought up thinking she deserves things just because she saw the tablet. She said, "What's this?" And he said, it's your iPad." And she got mad, threw it on the floor, and said, "This is not the newest one. This is the old generation tablet. I want the newer one."
Oh nah.
He's like, bro, he's like, he's like, the wife is like, why didn't you get a new one? And he's like, are you serious? She's 3 years old. I'm not spending however much it is on a brand new tablet for her to keep wanting new. He's like, no. But the minute she did that, he took away all her electronic stuff. And mind you, she didn't have a cell phone and stuff, but like, he's like, you know what? You're not doing this. You're gonna learn. And he punished her for months. He's like, no, it's not gonna happen because kids nowadays they feel like they need to have stuff. It's like, no, learn to go outside and play. First of all, you're 3 years
Yeah,
old. I know you want to grow and
now
stuff like
is
that.
yeah, now is the latest iPhone, the latest freaking Apple.
Yeah,
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't know, we saw the birth of Google. If anything, I mean, sound kind of old saying all that, but it's like we were there when technology actually bloomed. But at the same time, you know, something is our fault as
we're
well
older than Google.
because the thing about it is we saw the technology coming around and we saw that things were getting easier. We kind of like just let it slide. You see what I'm saying? Not all of us, but the majority of us just let it slide, and then we kind of
Yeah,
birth the generation that is stuck on tablets and phones. Because if we would have kept some of the traditions and keeping the kids outside and being more involved into their growth and their racing and stuff like that, rather than having a tablet or a
yeah,
screen just raise your kid. I mean, it would have been better because before we used to watch television too, like Saturdays and Sundays, the cartoons and the Power Rangers and this and that and third.
hell yeah. Tom and
And
Jerry,
but at the
Scooby
same
Doo. I used to
time,
watch Scooby Doo twenty
yeah,
four
but at the
seven.
same time, we had chores and things to do. So you had to do your chores, and after
Yep.
your chores were done, you be like, "Hey, can I go back down to Eddie's house, or can I go back down to Josh's house, or you know whatever the heck?" And you're like, you grab on your bike, you get on your bike, and you was gone. You disappeared. You was you nobody.
Yeah.
There was no track my son and track my daughter, whatever the heck they are. No, they were gone, disappeared. You did not know whether they were kidnapped or they were just like setting a street on fire or nothing. They were just like nowadays
Don't
it's
get me
impossible.
wrong. It
It's
might not
crazy
have
now.
been the greatest thing when it came to tracking children, but like kids were
But it gave
tougher.
us,
Kids were tougher back then.
but it gave us a sense of freedom because at the same
Yeah,
time they expected us that yeah, you guys are gonna be kids and you guys are gonna do stupid stuff, but guess what? There's a limit to this shit that you guys gonna sit down and do.
yeah,
Because in the back of my hand, it's like if so and so sees me and they tell my mom or they tell my dad that they saw me doing this, that was law. That was like like you got caught on your phone right now. If so and so
yep,
saw you and they told your parents, it was a wrap. It was a wrap
done.
because there was nothing you could say after that to say like, oh, but it wasn't me. No, 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 no. He saw you. He's not gonna come to my house and tell me a lie about you.
The crazy thing is, I knew like when I lived on one of my places that I lived on was in one of the military housing because my dad was former military. We if and throughout my life, this has always been an '80s and '90s thing. If you had a parent you were super close to, nowadays they don't. Parents now like newer parents are more like, oh, if another child does something, it's whatever. Back in the day, if my like one of my good friends, if his mom caught me doing something or caught us doing something, she had permission to pretty much whoop my ass. Also, she pretty much had permission to
Yeah,
smack you across the
yeah,
head and tell your
yeah,
parents, and then you get double the beating. But that was like a normal thing because it was more your family and your mom's friends who you became close. If you became friends with a guy closer, it was kind of like natural for the parents to hang out a lot. And like one of my dudes, Jamar, who I still talk to this day, the dude's awesome. We grew up together in high school and stuff. And like he his mom, if something happened, my mom would know if I did something stupid, and vice versa. Like it
hmm
was one of those like it
yeah,
was a very communal thing. Like your neighborhood was your people, but like back in the day, it was more
yeah,
like, hey, this is what you're doing. You keep an eye for each other, especially in the military community, but in general, that
yeah.
happened.
It
But it
was
was
like it was
yeah,
like it
it's hard
takes
to
a
get away with
village to
shit.
raise.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, it
exactly.
takes a village
So
to
yeah, it
raise. So
was
they were not gonna come and come like, oh yeah, I saw your son, but it was a lie. Now you got all these cameras looking at every direction. It's like you cannot even fart in public because somebody already started
yeah.
recording you farting.
You
It's
gonna
just
get caught.
like this guy next to me on the bus stop just farted, and I just happened to record him. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Like, and then the fact that
yeah.
people want to be exposed to this stuff on a regular basis, this is the whole bloom about social media stuff. Everything had to be documented and recorded for some odd reason. To I will say to an insane amount because now there's literally nothing you can do that is not being watched by a camera of some sort. Case in point,
Facts,
we're being
facts.
recorded right now, so we can bring you this show.
Yeah, I feel like, and going back to like the original, I feel like birthdays and holidays nowadays. I know when people are like, oh, we're gonna do a special occasion or like hang out or things like that. I feel like holidays have definitely changed. The one thing I was never alive for during it, none of us were, but like I know for a fact I would say 1930s to 19 I'd say maybe to even the 1990s is when holidays, especially like Christmas, for example, especially being in a Latino household, Christmas was a very big thing. Holidays were really celebrated. Where now people are like, oh, I don't celebrate Christmas not much. I don't really like it, or people decorate to a point, but they don't really. Back in the day, like even like now, Christmas stores are still open versus back in the day, especially in the 1980s and 1990s when we were alive. It was very like people, stores were closed. People celebrated it with family. You invited close
Yeah.
friends, like very close friends or family, and it was a huge gathering. My family's still like that, not as much anymore. Like as opposed to like having the like 100 people we had. That's his dog.
That is my crazy dog. Hold on.
As opposed to having things like that, it was more um, people celebrated more then than they do now. So back in the day, people celebrated and actually did things, and people nowadays they don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's very different. Like people don't do house parties the way they used to back in the day. Now people, if they do have a house party, it's something very like, oh, the setup is very nice, very casual. I actually hosted, and it was one of the best parties I've had. But I remember we had a house party and we actually played pool. People actually danced versus now people might dance, but it's more about what you can do and what's happening there and things like that. But yeah,
It's
birthdays,
about the
holidays,
TikTok
and
dances.
special
Now. It's
occasions.
about the TikTok dances. It's about the TikTok dances.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was just celebrated way more. It was just celebrated more. It was just more fun. Like people,
It
because
was
now if
more
you're at a party, people
wholesome.
have cell phones. Yeah,
Yeah,
people
it
put
was
their
more
cell phones
wholesome.
down and people chill.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
more wholesome.
but not only
It was
that,
more family oriented. It was more friend oriented.
yeah,
It was more communal because it was not just like growing in Panama during the holidays. They used to close the whole street block. I'm talking about like there
yep,
was no cars allowed anywhere because you had scooters, bicycles, skateboards, people playing soccer with the new soccer balls, like everything. It was everything. It's like
everything.
en la calle, desorden, jugando, playing, doing the whole thing. It was just, it was music playing, adults over there drinking their beers, just having fun, watching the kids
Hell
just
yeah,
going, having a blast. That was me growing up. Now, it's a crazy thing. I don't know if you ever experienced this. In Panama, at the end of the whole Christmas celebration, we used to collect every single Christmas tree and put it on one spot in the street. And we used to have a big ass bonfire. Big
What?
ass
That sounds dope.
bonfire. Big
Oh,
ass
I love
bonfire.
that.
All the Christmas trees just put over there, and then we just set it up. And I mean, it was controlled. It was not like, oh my god, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, not no riot type of stuff. But it was controlled where we like all the adults brought the trees together. They put them on a really nice area in the middle of the street. You know, there was no electric cables going by or nothing like that, and we just would set that thing on fire. It would be like huge.
Yeah,
You know, you see like that event that they
that's
do in
great.
the desert sometimes. I think it's called Burning Man or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it was something like that. But it was all the Christmas
yeah.
tree, and that
Okay.
was basically like the end of it. And then we used to fill out this kind of like scarecrow full of like firecrackers and stuff, and we would throw him over there, and then he would be like, all the fireworks just popping and so. Bro, it was a whole
That's fun.
when I came here to the United States, it was such a culture shock. It was like, yo, everything is so different. You know, so
Oh yeah,
everybody is more like to themselves. And me and my family, we don't do this, we don't do that, we don't do. And it
yeah,
was, and honestly, it kind of like took away from me as a Latino raised in Panama, or more like Hispanic because Latinos, we don't speak Latin, but more like Hispanics. Um, Growing in a Spanish speaking country and just having all this different stuff going on, and then coming here to the US is just like boom, you just hit a
yeah.
wall.
It's
And
huge.
it's like you don't it's not the same. It's not the same at all. Like you have your Hispanic families and stuff and all this other stuff, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? They don't
Yeah,
get together. Like even now, 2023, 2024 now, like especially with the economic situation that's going on, the companies just trying to be greedy and rising up prices and everything, and all this crazy
facts,
stuff.
facts.
It's more commercialized. Before it was just about family. Look, you could have a soccer ball and you was happy about getting a soccer ball. Now here you need the latest iPhone, you need the latest piece of clothes, you need some Gucci shirts, you need some dunks, you need some this. That you need everything is name brand, everything is just commercialized. It is like
Yeah,
family is like out the window, and everything is about just materialistic stuff. And honestly, as a Hispanic going to Panama, bro, I do miss that because my Christmas here, they're kind of like lame
eh,
per se. It's just kind of bland because it's not the same. It's not the same flavor. Once it's
it's
like
not. It's not.
it's when cuando tú pruebas sazón, when you taste that seasoning, that Latino seasoning, that Hispanic seasoning on your food, you can never go
Sounds-
back to the regular eating of food. You cannot just throw salt and pepper on your food and think that that's normal after you throw some seasoning from a Latino country.
Ain't that some truth? Ain't that some truth?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing to celebrations, bro. It's the same thing to celebrations. It's just crazy that it's so different. And I challenge anybody that is from Panama, put it in the comments. Anybody from Puerto Rico, put them in the comments. From anybody in Hispanic, Hispanic speaking country, lo que hablan
Fact.
español, cualquier país de ustedes que de habla hispana, put it right there in the comments.
Yep,
How much different your celebrations were in your country that are here in the
bro.
United States.
Puerto Rico. When I first when I was a little kid, when I first experienced Christmas in Puerto Rico, because I was born in the U.S. and I was raised all over the place. But we went to Puerto Rico ridiculously often. But when we went in Christmas, it was one of those things where it is completely different because, like, first of all, most Hispanics, not all, but I would even dare to say all, but most Hispanics celebrate two Christmases. The first one is Christmas on December 25th, 24th, and then of course there's
Dia de
Dia
los
de los Reyes, which is
Reyes, yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
which
It's
is
crazy.
January 6th. And then we celebrate that. That's the Three Kings Day in English for y'all. Three Kings Day, and that's when the tradition was you leave a little box or something or a shoe with some carrots, usually a box with carrots and some hay in it for the camels, the three wise men and the camels. They'd come in the middle of the night and they would feed their camels, and then they would get a present in the morning. So I to this day, my mom was like, "Oh, that's a kid's." I'm like, no. To this day, I celebrate that. Like this January 6th comes, I tell wifey, I'm like, I want my gift. Jenny, I want my gift. If you don't get it, I get it. No, I don't care. I want my gift. It's just different. And then especially like on the 24th and 25th. So the 24th for Latinos, or for most, I don't know, especially Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands, is very like 24th is when you have the big all to do dinner, and then like you have abuela. all the abuelas cooking, moms cooking. The men are just sitting there drinking their rum, playing domino. That's it. You just the women do the work, the men do the eating, and then it's one of those where like when that's happening, like bro, the amount of food, like
Hey,
the amount of people and food. Like
hey,
I had a family, like one of my Christmases, we had like I dare to say 50, 60 people, all family, and bro, the amount of the te recuerdas del what is it called the big oh yeah the big pot that the
oh,
grandma would just cook rice and beans and then like
la,
a sopón like a
eh,
sancocho. Oh my god,
in
bro!
Panama, we call it la paila. You know, it was this
Yeah,
big old caldero,
yep,
bro. This cauldron, bro, is huge. They used to make this freaking rice over there, and then they had the chicken on the other side, and then you have
yes,
In Panama, what people in Puerto Rico call pasteles, in Panama we call them tamales. So we had the tamales and the pasteles going on and all this other stuff, bro. It was wholesome, bro. It was so much different. And then for those that want to talk about sexism and machismo and all this other stuff, no, the women
yep,
actually enjoy doing that stuff for the men, and the man
yeah,
was over there not bugging women and just enjoying their time alone. And women knew how to like respect the difference because they knew that they were home raising their kids and the men was over there busting their asses doing
yep,
the hard
yep.
work so they can bring that money to the house so
Not
they
only
can make
that,
it a home.
but let's be real about it. The women, they even though we're all family, there was always I can cook. Who can cook the rice better? Who can cook
Yeah,
this better?
yeah,
Especially if you
yeah,
have family who didn't live there. If everybody was traveling, everybody bought food on
yeah,
top of whoever was cooking the food at the house. Normally, the food would all be cooked there, and you see, like in my house, we have my mom, mi abuelita, my bisabuela, which is my great grandmother. We have my aunt, who is also I consider abuela, God rest her soul. Then I have my aunts cooking, my mom cooking. We had at least, I want to say, at least 12 women easy cooking, like easily, like in the kitchen, and they would all make some dishes or they would do it. Now, mind you, if when especially when grandma was a little bit younger, grandmas cook first. They make the meals. They make the rice, the beans. I had one grandma who made habichuelas. To God rest her soul. I miss her so much. But I'm telling you, and I
the
know everyone says
abuelas
this,
the
but I'm being
abuelas
real
were
with
the
y'all.
godfathers of the
No
kitchen.
one in the world can cook beans the way my abuelita did. I'm telling you, I swear to you on everything, y'all. I learned her. She actually taught me. I was one of the few people she taught, and even then, I did better, even better than my mom and them. My beans, I'm telling you, you try them. I've never, ever had anyone
Ever,
tell me they
ever.
didn't love my beans. Everyone's like, "Bro, these are amazing." I'm like, "That's not my recipe. That's my grandma." Like, I added a little something to it, which all I did was add more of the seasoning because as she got older, her taste gets
What did
different.
you do? What did you do? Did you just commit
Well, no, she told me to
sacrilege to
put
your? No,
no, no, no, no.
nah,
She told me to put
nah.
seasoning.
You
She
committed
put a lot.
sacrilege to your
No,
abuelita.
no, 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 no.
No.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Wait, wait, wait. She would put because when you get older, you got to be careful with your salt intake, right? So she would start putting less salt and stuff. But she would tell me, she's like, do it at home. She's like, put more salt in it than this. She's like, but for me, because I want to eat some too, I got to put less. So she taught me how to like put the proper amount. So, but when she got older, she had to, do a little bit less because you can, and she was a diabetic, and then she had, she was like, we Latinos have high blood pressure. We have, we have a lot of issues. But she taught me how to make that and the rice. My mom, I know how to make rice and beans, but not as good as my mom. My mom, I don't care. My mom could cook, even my grandma. But yeah, it was different though. Like we really celebrated it. And here's the other reason why I feel like holidays were different back in the day compared to now. It's because now we have unlimited phone plans. Back in the day, you couldn't make a phone call till after 9 if you wanted it free, and if you wanted to text, you only had a limited data plan. Like, oh, you can do 50 texts a day, so you had to save that shit to make sure you were good.
Well, not
So
even
people were on the phone all the
because
time. And we didn't have internet like that either. We didn't have internet like that on the
Well, not
phone. We
even
just had
because
text
the
and
fact of the
call.
matter is that la familia entera, the whole family was there. Toda la familia entera estaba ahí. Your whole family
Yeah,
was there. Your cousins, your aunties, everybody was there. So it was a family gathering for real. Now,
yeah,
tell me on parties, how many people that you stop talking to that is part of your family, you that for X, Y, or Z reason that you don't talk to, you don't see no, and now your house looks like ghost town with you,
yeah,
your kids, or whatever. And if you don't have kids, you and your
yeah,
significant other, and it's just two of you ordering some DoorDash or Uber Eats for Christmas. You making
bro.
another
That's
person
one.
work for your holiday.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm religious on that. That's one thing I said to my mom when I was younger. She's like, you say that now, but when you get older, it's a lot of work. But like, whenever like the whole family gets together, like most of the time it's the entire family for Christmas and stuff. But it's one of those where,
Who told you
um,
that? Your mama told you that?
yeah, she's like when you get old, she's like, well, she said it. She does decorating still, but she doesn't do it as big as she used to, like big.
Porque,
She still
porque
decorates, but
la familia ya no va allá. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's
So,
just like I
but
said,
now that we're
the
starting to
whole
get,
thing is different because now everybody's
yeah,
everywhere. So she don't have as much to do. So, you know what I'm saying? It's
exactly.
crazy.
But now, like whenever we have our reunions, though, which we haven't, I think they had one like 6 years ago. We're due for another one soon. But when we have our reunions, it's a wrap, bro. We have at least like my this is like my mom's side of the family by itself. There's probably I want to say anywhere from 60 to 100 people. That's not including my dad's side, which is probably so total. We probably have, if we have we give enough people time so they're like, because some of us live in different states, so we'll travel to one state, wherever state has the most family or whoever's starting it. Usually it's in Massachusetts, so normally we'll have at least, I want to say 100 to 150 people there. Like, and then there's, bro, we so much food and drinks, and then of course the men playing dominoes, and when I was younger, me and my cousins, we played basketball or handball, which is the most popular thing. We play a lot of handball or tops. We play tops, which tops is our spinning thing, guys. You take a string. In Spanish it's all something different, but you take the string, you go, and then you try to knock the other one out, or marbles. But we play with these kids.
Para eso que no saben, son
Yeah.
los trompos.
So there you go. So we would, play that, and then while the men would play dominoes. But sometimes you weren't allowed to play. You had to go sit down next to your grandpa or your dad and watch them play dominoes, so that when you get older, you know how to play dominoes.
Oh yeah,
So
porque don't mess up the game of dominoes. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't ever sit on a table with some Hispanics and try to play dominoes when you really don't know. It is the equivalent of a black household playing spades and you don't know how to play spades.
Yes.
Is that serious? Is that
and
serious?
You're not nice about it either. It's not like you're not like, let's say there's a 6 on a table, right? Let's say a 6 and a 1. You don't just say, if you have like a 1 and a 5, obviously you take the 1, you put it to the 1, right? But here's the thing: you don't say, okay, here you go, and put it on there. You smack that shit. You smack that. You put it down. And you say your thing. If you put it out gently, it's like, first of all,
tiene que poner la actitud. You gotta put that attitude on
that.
So you gotta use
exactly. Some oomph, put that hair on your chest. Let them know, like, I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make sure, But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reasons, because back in the day when we were growing up, cell phones were just a new thing. So having a cell phone with internet and being able to browse and see the world, you couldn't do that. There was none of that. The biggest thing you had that was like awesome was a snake game with little snake. You chase a little ball.
Yeah, it was out in Tetris.
Yeah, out in Tetris. So, you couldn't do much.
You ain't had no Flappy Birds. You ain't had no what else? You ain't had no
Call of Duty, Fortnite,
Candy Crush, none of that stuff there, bro. It was just plain and
even
simple.
The internet wasn't good on phones. Even if you had a good plan, internet wasn't really good on phones.
Do you remember the pictures? You remember the pictures of them old phones, bro? Like pixelated pictures, and you thought it was the best picture ever. Hey,
like, look at this picture.
And when we used to record our voicemails with the radio in the background.
I was just about to say that.
You just reached my phone. All right, now I'm not available, so please leave your message, and I'll call you back as soon as possible. And then you put the music in the background.
If it was on the radio, you had to play at the exact time. Or if you had a tape cassettes where music used to be, before CDs, you had to put it, and if you had the wrong part, you had to rewind it, wait, and then as soon as you put it, you had to make sure that part was ready right before you recorded your voicemail. Then you're like, oh, hey guys, I used to be stupid with it. And then you put it on, and then also you put the song, like, let's say it's like Usher, like, you don't have to call, like, put something like that, and like put that on, put it right next to it. It's like, okay, then press the button. And if it didn't turn out right, damn, then you do it again. You didn't have where you can, it was crazy. Or did you ever I did this a few times. This was like maybe in the 90s, early 2000s, when they used to do, like, you used to leave a voicemail as if you were talking to the person. So it'd be like,
hello?
How you doing? And you just like leave a small pause, like, hey, this is Enrique, how you doing? And then you just pause, like, oh, I'm just chilling here. I'm just chilling here right now, just trying to get some stuff done. Is it, what can I help you with? Oh yeah, I can do that. And then you do a few more messages, and then towards the end, you're like, Okay, so do me a favor, leave a message after the tone, beep, and it would piss people off. It would
Yeah.
piss people off, bro.
Yeah, like
Like,
hello, hey,
woo!
this is Mr. M2J. So how can I help you? And whatever, and then like
Bro,
it's like right now I'm not available to take your call, so please leave a message with your phone number so I can call you
bro, I
back.
I fell for that once or twice, and I was like, bro, the worst thing was if you fell for that and you sat there having a 4 minute conversation with the messaging. I was like, bro, when I see that person, I'm slapping the shit
That's
out of them.
crazy. That was just crazy. It was just so wild, bro. Now people not even have voicemails anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just like text me, text me, text me, text me. Back then we're not even used to text that much because we had to pay for the text. Now you got unlimited texting.
Unlimited
Yeah,
text. Oh, we had to wait till 9 if you wanted
yeah,
to
free
free
nights and
minutes,
weekends, free nights
free
and
nights and
weekends.
weekends,
Y'all
bro.
don't know
And I'm
y'all
telling
talk
y'all,
about the struggle. Y'all don't know the struggle.
y'all don't know it, man. I remember people used to be like, yo, call me. Like, no, bro, don't text me, man. Don't text me. Wait till later. I only got this many minutes. Stop texting me, man.
Yeah,
And you couldn't stop someone's text. If someone texted you, you lost your shit. Like
yeah, yeah. You lost
you're
that. You
screwed.
lost that text. Now you got 99.
Yeah. It's like, bro, you paying me for this. And then after 9, you had to wait for 9 because that's when the minutes were free. So at that point, you were like,
It was
at the point
crazy.
of 9 o'clock, you're like, yo, call me. Like you would do the quick, like, yo, if someone called you, yo, call me after 9. My name is free. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. And you hang up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you had to wait till 9.
And then when nighttime came around, it was crazy because you
Phones
call
would blow up.
everybody and their mama. It was crazy. You will have like 30-minute conversation. Oh, and then wait, I gotta call you back. I gotta call so and so. So you will call
Yeah.
everybody in that span of time to make sure that you got everything that y'all needed to say all day long that y'all couldn't say over the because y'all weren't there.
Facts, bro. Facts. I remember my mom, I used to try to use the phone to call my peoples. My mom would be like, she said, get off the phone, I need to use it. I'm like, but my mom would be on there for a minute talking. My mom, my dad, everybody be on there after 9 just on the phones, bro. It was stupid. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, I love that. Yeah, 90s, 80s and 90s was a crazy time, bro. Like technology was still brand new, so everybody was learning it, and it was such an excitement because you could reach people for such a cheap price compared to a regular phone. Or even remember when if you had to call someone you live far, you didn't have a phone, and you call someone collect, and instead of talking to them because collect was expensive back in the day. This is what you did, y'all. Y'all won't believe it. This is what you did. And to this day, you can still use collect, but collect is still a thing. But it's not a common thing. It's mostly a prison thing. Last time I checked, but back in the day, when you wanted to call someone who was super far, because if I wanted to call from my landline phone to someone across the country in Puerto Rico, right? It costs money. They used to charge by the minute. It was expensive. So what did people do? It was easier instead of doing that. If it was just a simple message like, "Oh, I need you to send me $100," for example. I call someone, you call collect. Okay, can I tell? It would say leave your name for who's calling. So the collect would ask you what your name is, and then when they hear it, they would say, "Do you want to accept this call from Enrique?" Right, and then you say yes, and then it would do it, and then it would charge money. Easier way. Please leave your name after this. Yo, listen, Enrique, I need $100. So they go, send me $100. Blah, blah, blah. You give the message in that. When they reached it, they would hear, yeah, you were receiving a call from, and then they would record exactly what you said. This is Enrique, I need 100, blah, blah, blah. And then you saved yourself the money. They'd hang up immediately, and they'd know who has to pay the money.
Yeah, yeah. It's when people used to use Western Union and all this stuff. I mean,
Ah,
it was a whole different time, but I think it was the most wholesome one at that point.
yeah.
You know, and I say that because being from the 80s, 90s type of thing, we saw the birth and growth of this technology that you guys seeing right now. So, it's not like, oh, but you guys are too old. No, we saw it being born and we can still deal with it. Like we're here, we know how to handle all your new phones, all your new tablets, all your new programs. Who created
Yep.
that stuff? It's still us. You know what I'm saying? The generation that saw it grow. So, that's the people that's working on all this other stuff.
Put it
Y'all
this way.
just they're just updating what we already created. You're saying that you just
Yeah,
improving
and our
on
generation was
on
a
what
little
we
bit smarter. Well, our generation was a little smarter because, and with MySpace, we actually
Oh,
with MySpace, it's
oh.
like for y'all who don't know, MySpace is like the
It's
old
the
school
previous,
Facebook. This is when
yeah,
social
it's
media
the
was popping.
originator of Facebook. MySpace
Yeah.
was
So
the goat.
MySpace, if you wanted to put certain things on the front of your page, you actually had to code. you had to you had to learn a little bit of code just to use it. And people literally did it, bro. You could put music on your front page, you could do all this crazy stuff. And then of course, as me and Martin were talking about before back in the day, you had your top five friends you'd put that you would always be able to see their story, versus now you
Oh,
just see everyone's story, but you had a top five of people you really want to see now.
whoever was on that top five, they will immediately know if they got taken off that list.
Yep,
And that was
yep.
some explanation to do. Why you took me out of your top five? What's wrong? What did I do? What was the problem? Why? But it was what? It was
And if you didn't
crazy.
have your girl in the top five, she thought something was going on, because why am I not in the
Yep,
top five? Are
yep,
you trying to hide that you
yep.
have a girlfriend? It's like, no, it's just these are my dudes. But why can't I be? It's like, oh my god.
This is your number one and number two. Automatically, if anything, they had to be your parents, because if it was not your parents, they had to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever. It was like, yo, I gotta be top
Yeah,
three. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
your mama is top one and your daddy is top two or whatever, then I gotta be top three. So I don't know who the hell you want to put in the last two, but I gotta
yep,
be there. Like, I gotta be part of that stuff. And I better not be four or five. Like, they gotta be very important. So I don't
yeah.
want to hear all that.
Yeah, and people, there was literally some people, bro. I knew a few people who their friendships would be over or stop for a little while because
Oh
why am I not in your top
yeah.
five? It's like, bro, give me a top 10. I need 10 at least at this point,
There,
because
there was a
I mean, if
there
you were
was so
top 10, that
many.
was good, but top five was where it was at. It was,
Yeah.
bro, top five. That was starting fights on that one.
Facts.
Surprisingly, MySpace is still around. It's
Yep.
still around, and now it's mostly for businesses and artists who get out there. But which is weird, because artists are on there and it's actually thriving. But like, well, who would really go on MySpace for artists? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. It's just
you're not doing
it was so crazy back then. We could have put music. You have banners. You have backgrounds. You have layers. You had stuff with your favorite movies. You had it was just so. It was like again, like I said, it was wholesome because you had all
Yeah.
the stuff that identify you as a person. There was not two MySpace pages that were alike in any way, shape, or form. You had little
Yep.
dancing characters and like all that
Yeah.
stuff. It was just crazy. It was just crazy, crazy.
And if you wanted more pages to put more things on your page, you could once again, the coding, you had to do a little bit of coding to have, you actually had separate, it was basically having your own website on one website. So in your page, you'd have multiple pages. So you could put your top people, your photos, then you had another page that might have been like your posts, another page that was like just whatever that, like you put what you want, as opposed to, that's why Facebook got big, is because like it's just one page and that's it. You put what you want and that's it. You don't have to worry about it. So they made it easier, but
I
like
mean, for those who
people were
haven't seen
smarter.
it, you guys got to see the movie for how Facebook was created. It was not for that the original thing. The Facebook thing, if I recall correctly, it was to kind of like rate other people, like what you rate this person.
Well, it started for colleges. It was for
Yeah,
college students
yeah.
only. Like, wifey was telling me when Facebook first came out, she got it, and it was only, you could only have it if you had a college email, and it was only for college students. And then from there, it grew bigger, and people started liking it, and then it was really good. So that's when it got like, it was just it was phenomenal. It was a time where people got closer because technology wasn't so prevalent, and it wasn't where people were so focused on their phone, versus now
Yeah.
it's a lot more different. It's something that's it's crazy different. But that was the good old times when people really did stuff, and really got out there to do what they needed.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the craziness right there, y'all. That's what we dealt with back in the 80s and 90s. That's the beauty of life. That's where everything was just really phenomenal. But
So I
that's a
want
wrap on
y'all
this
to know
episode.
for those who are newer generation, current generation that are watching this podcast. I want y'all to leave in your comments if you actually think that this generation is better when it comes down to being wholesome as having your celebrations and having all your stuff. Leave it in the comments.
Yep.
Let us know what you think about it, and we take
Hell
a look
yeah.
at it, and we'll probably address it in some of our other social media apps like TikTok or Instagram, and we make videos about your comments and stuff,
Facts.
kind of address you guys. So
Hell yeah. So, everybody, that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you for tuning into the Latinos Unfiltered podcast. We hope you enjoyed our unfiltered conversations, our real conversations, laughed a little bit with us, even brought back some memories, and maybe even learned something new.
yeah, you guys got to remember though, life is too short not to have a good time. So until the next time, we keep phone, vibing. Stay curious and keep those set cafecitos ready, man. Your cafecitos, your drinks, your roncito, you know what I'm saying? Your Coca-Colas.
Hell yeah. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notifications so you never miss an episode. We're going to start putting quite a few episodes out. We're here to keep it real, and we definitely want you right there with us to understand what we're going through, what people are going through from a Latino point of view, just to really get out there and open up more doors and see what we can do. But, you guys just, we want you right there with us. So, we're glad that you guys are here.
So, hasta luego, mi gente.
Take it easy, yo.